A team of Pakistan policy parties has discarded the results of Environment's general poll. How looks poised to give former cricketer Imran Khan to force. Mr. Khan's PTI side is front in the survey and has proclaimed win, but competing parties claim voice ropes. Following collaborative negotiations in Islamabad, one side lead told they would start protests to consumer demand crisp elections. The competing parties involve the ex-steering PMLN, that had overtold it was prepared to go in opposition. Lead Shahbaz Sharif, sibling of ex-PM Nawaz Sharif, who is in prison on corrupt practices extortion, told the side had yet to solve if or not to boycott parliament. Meeting near him at a news story meeting, Maulana Fazil-ur Rahman, lead of the MMA side and representative for the team of competing parties, told, "We will run a motion for keeping of elections once again. Down there will be protests." Leaders of more than rather than a half a dozen parties had named the meeting to shape a collaborative policy following the poll. The poll was seen as a competition among Mr. Khan's Pakistan Tehreek-i-Insaf, PTI, side and Mr. Sharif's Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz, PMLN. In largest votes calculated, Mr. Khan's side is guideline in 115 seats in the 272 domestic gathering constituencies creature disputed, far front of the PMLN on 64. In tertiary location in 43 seats is the Pakistan Folk side, PPP, led by Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, son of dead couple-time main secretary Benazir Bhutto. The PPP did not visit the meet of competing parties on Friday. A full of 137 seats is required for a most and time Mr. Khan is on year to be main secretary, he will include to shape a coalition by the government. Analyzed by Anbar Ahsan Etharajan, Southward Asia Provincial Text Editor. Pakistan policy is complete of peripecia and turns. A day following Imran Khan proclaimed win in the elections, several parties are inviting for a new survey. If the protests go front as pledged, it could reason policy insecurity. Interestingly, the side of Nawaz Sharif appears indecisive on boycotting parliament. Mr. Sharif's nephew told they were prepared to sit on the opposition benches. But several hours after his side united the opposition association inviting for a derun. Mr. Sharif's PMLN is as well desperate hard to shape a provincial by the government in Pakistan's largest densely populated Punjab provincial. Although it has founded as the solitary greatest in the gathering elections down there, it has unsuccessful to safe and direct most. It appears how the side is acute to hold Punjab, its conventional fortress, as it cannot shape a by the government at the Fed standard. But Mr. Khan's PTI side, that is just a few seats over the PMLN, is as well in the brawl to shape a by the government in Punjab in the supporting of less parties and independents. The following few days are departure to be lively for transactions makers and the PMLN may not wish to be leftward in anything. Mr. Khan, 65, has florid accusations how his campaigning benefited of the supporting of Pakistan's strong war, a complaint both of he and the troop reject. On Friday, a Europe Association tracking crew told the poll campaigning displayed a absence of equity. Though down there were several legislative provision designed at enabling a standard game box, we include signed how down there was a absence of equity and prospect, head watcher Michael Gollier said reporters. On Friday, the U.S. pronounced anxiety on flaws in the campaigning trial. These turned on current restriction located on freedoms of express and associate for the campaigning time how were at prospect in Pakistan. Authorities set out purpose of a completely equitable and translucent poll, the U.S. country division told. On Thursday Mr. Khan, who captained Pakistan to a Planet Cup win in 1992, told The Voice had been the brightest, fairest poll Pakistan has always had. On Friday, elder PMLN lead Hamza Shahbaz Sharif told the side had reservations above the way the poll was detained, but it would cede win in procedure to reinforce democratic state in the nation. We are departure to sit on opposition benches, in spite all the reservations, the ex-main secretary's nephew told. Though if democratic state is corrupted, its decision is more than democratic state, and later more than democratic state. Nawaz Sharif, who is in jail following Creature, condemned on corrupt practices extortion he disputes, told the Poll had been kidnapped.